Imagine a prison designed by a madman. It has no bars. It has no guards. It has no locks on the doors. You can walk freely through its corridors for days, but you will never, ever get out. This was the labyrinth. Hidden beneath the palace of Knossos on the island of Crete, it was a maze so complex, so mathematically twisting, that even the man who built it, the genius Daedalus, barely escaped it himself. It was designed to hold exactly one prisoner, a creature that was the shame of a kingdom, a biological nightmare, a beast with the body of a man and the head of a bull, the Minotaur. The Minotaur didn't eat grass. It ate flesh, human flesh, and for years the labyrinth was silent, until the screaming started, because the king of Crete didn't just use the maze to hide the monster. He used it as an execution chamber. How does such a monster come to exist? It started, as most Greek tragedies do, with a king trying to cheat a god. King Minos of Crete asked Poseidon for a sign of his right to rule. Poseidon sent a beautiful snow-white bull from the ocean foam. The deal was simple. Minos was supposed to sacrifice the bull back to the god, but Minos was greedy. He looked at the magnificent animal and decided to keep it. He sacrificed a lesser bull instead, thinking the god of the ocean wouldn't notice. Poseidon noticed, and his revenge was twisted. He didn't kill the king. He cursed the king's wife, Pasiphae, to fall madly in love with the bull. The result of that unnatural union was the Minotaur, a baby that bit, a child that growled. As it grew, its hunger became uncontrollable. King Minos couldn't kill it. It was divine punishment. So he hid it. He commissioned the labyrinth. He threw the beast into the dark, but a beast must eat. Across the sea, the city of Athens had lost a war against Crete. The price of surrender was horrific. Every 9 years, Athens had to send a tribute to Crete. Not gold, not weapons. They had to send 7 young men and 7 young women. They were stripped of their weapons, marched onto a ship with black sails, the symbol of death, and sailed to Crete. There, they were thrown into the labyrinth. They would wander the pitch-black corridors for hours, maybe days, hungry, thirsty, terrified. And then they would hear it, the heavy breathing, the scraping of hooves on stone, the snort of a bull in the dark. None of them ever returned, until the third tribute. One young man stood up and volunteered to take the place of a victim. He was the prince of Athens, Theseus. He made a vow to his father, King Aegeus. I will kill the monster. And when my ship returns, I will change the black sails to white, so you know I am alive. Theseus arrived in Crete. He was strong, brave, and arrogant. But strength doesn't matter in a maze. If you kill the monster but can't find the exit, you still die in the dark. But Theseus had a secret weapon, love. The princess of Crete, Ariadne, saw Theseus and fell in love with him instantly. She couldn't let him die. She went to the architect, Daedalus, and asked the impossible. How do you solve the maze? The answer wasn't a map. It was a string. Before Theseus entered the dark gates, Ariadne gave him a ball of golden thread. Tie it to the door, she whispered. Unravel it as you walk. No matter how deep you go, the string will lead you home. Theseus tied the knot. He drew his sword, and he stepped into the abyss. The labyrinth was suffocating. Cold, damp walls, dead ends. The smell of old blood. Theseus walked for hours, the golden thread slipping through his fingers. He walked deeper than any human had ever gone. And then he felt it. A warm, humid gust of air. The smell of wet fur. He turned a corner, and there it was, sleeping in the center of the maze. The Minotaur. It was massive, a hulk of muscle and rage. Theseus stepped on a loose stone. Click, the beast's eyes opened. They glowed red in the gloom. The battle was brutal. It wasn't a duel, it was a brawl. The Minotaur charged, smashing through stone walls like they were paper. Theseus had to use his speed, ducking under the massive horns that sought to impale him. In the suffocating darkness, with only the sound of roaring and heavy breathing, Theseus found an opening. He didn't try to overpower the beast. He grabbed the bull's horn, used the monster's own momentum, and drove his sword into its neck. The Minotaur fell. The earth shook. The breathing stopped. The nightmare of Crete was dead. Theseus followed the thread back to the light. He saved the other Athenians. He took Princess Ariadne. They fled on their ship before King Minos could stop them. It was a perfect victory. But heroes in Greek myths are flawed. In his excitement, or perhaps his arrogance, Theseus made a fatal mistake. As they sailed back to Athens, celebrating their freedom, he forgot his promise to his father. He forgot to change the sails. High on the cliffs of Athens, King Aegeus had been waiting for weeks, staring at the horizon. He prayed to see white sails, but as the ship broke through the mist, he saw black. The king's heart shattered. He believed his son was dead, devoured by the beast. Overcome with grief, King Aegeus threw himself off the cliff and into the churning ocean below. Theseus landed a hero, only to find his father dead by his own mistake. He became king, but the victory was stained with tragedy. And to this day, the ocean where his father drowned is named after him. The Aegean Sea. The monster was dead. But in the end, it wasn't the Minotaur that killed the king. It was a simple piece of black cloth